Hello, I'm Cosmic Jack. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to dive into a November kind of energy update. As this month feels really big and there's so much change happening. I dove into on my Substack that Mercury is in its pre-shadow retrograde. It will be retrograding from Sagittarius back into Scorpio, and it will basically be pinging back and forth between Uranus. And, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, and Uranus in Gemini. Of course, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. There's going to be like a lot of like consciousness shifts and upgrades and overnight like just insight and ideas and inspirations, and just kind of like one big pivot in terms of your thoughts, your ideas, your identity, your belief systems about yourself, about your life, about perspectives, how you see, view, and value things, and really kind of diving deeper and seeking higher truths. Sagittarius and Scorpio both have to do with like truths in different ways. And of course, with also that is happening is Mars is also going to be opposing Uranus. So there's definitely this like big shift and change energy kicking off the month really, really strong. And with Mercury and Mars both in Sagittarius, the ruler, of course, of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is also stationing retrograde opposing Pluto. And so there's this, and Pluto, of course, is the ruler of Scorpio. We're, of course, in Scorpio season. Scorpio is intense. It has no chill. It is about transformation. It is about a metamorphosis. Scorpio is also about relationships, right? It is intimacy. It is the merging of two energies and two souls to create and birth life, bring creation into physical form. And so there's also this big relationship energy and undertone for this month too. It is a 2-month. It's also I will say it's an 11, and 1 + 1 is 2. So there's this very big like psychic relationship energy that is also happening. Scorpios are super psychic. They're very in tune. They're very intuitive. I talked about on my Substack how Scorpios are the scorpion, right? They are. I refer to them as the imprinters, right? From Twilight, like it's not even like love at first sight. It's like a soul enmeshment at first sight. It's like what I need. Like I just become whoever you need me to be. Like that's what Jacob says about Bella. And so there's like this like intertwining, and there's like this inner like meshing and merging of souls with Scorpio. But it represents a scorpion who is like on the ground floor of the desert, and it's pinching and poking and prodding at what it deems as safe, and is really reactive on impulse, right? It like feels the vibration on the ground and kind of will sting anything that it deems a threat. And so higher octave of Scorpio, Scorpion, is about the eagle, which is rising above your 3D reality, your 3D circumstances, and seeing the bigger picture, seeing further down the road, really seeing what is a threat and what is not, and really releasing kind of those talons, that grip of survival, and really evolving to see kind of like the 5D higher picture and perspective, which, going back to Mercury and Uranus and Mars opposing Uranus, is really what we're doing, and it's really shifting our lens and our perspective of our situation, of our experience, of how we see and view ourselves. Maybe it's how we value relationship, and really just change, like creating change. Like to change your life, you have to change yourself first, and you can't be the same person that you currently are and get different results. And so there's this big kind of transition and this metamorphosis that is happening. And I really think it is happening in relationship. Of course, like Mercury retrograde brings up relationship stuff. Scorpio is all about relationship. We have this full moon in Taurus happening on November 5th. Um, and of course, Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus will be in Libra. And then shortly after this full moon, Uranus is going to retrograde back into Taurus on November 7th. Taurus is, of course, the divine feminine, right? Ruled by Venus. And so there's this big relationship energy actually that's happening. And really what I was like seeing when I was like tapping into, like when I first was channeling into this is like, it's like that merging and a meshing of souls to create something. And so it's really like, if you have been doing the work to really evolve and transform and like, in your own metamorphosis, in your own individuality as a soul, it's like you're actually going to be lined up with a counterpart to really birth creations together here on earth, because that is really like the legacy that you are here to kind of leave behind, is like what you create here on earth, right? Is the only thing that gets to stay is your creations. And it's interesting because I think I have something in my tooth here. Sorry about that. My Libra couldn't like ignore the fact that there was something in my tooth. But that is the human experience, right? Like, oh, we were doing a video with something in my teeth. And it's like you have been doing so much work. And you've probably been, if you followed me, you probably have been in like times of seclusion, right? Of solitude, where it's just like you, yourself, and I. And that work is important and is great, but it only gets you so far. And then what happens is when you align with someone who really can see you and support you and meet you in your depths, in your intensity, in your power, what happens is you ascend so much quicker, so much faster. And so it's like we're really going to be aligning with those people, because when someone can see you and can hold you to, your highest light and really hold you in that space and see you in that space, then it really just gives you the space to kind of just like rise up, and then you just get to like support, and as you guys both ascend and rise higher and continually evolve and transcend and transform. And for me, it's really is like having the space held for me to rise, right? Like the Scorpio rises like the phoenix, to really rise, and the support, because that's what the womb is about. That's what the sacral is about. That's what Scorpio is about, right? It is the safety and the support and the containment that is required of the womb, right? There's safety that's required before something can enter the womb. There's safety that's required for you to birth and create and kind of gestate a baby, right? And so there's like a safety that is a safety and a support that happens. The woman really is the creator in the 5D, and the masculine really is the one who protects and keeps the womb safe, and really is that safe space through the birthing process. And so it's really kind of this beautiful kind of blend of like 5D meeting 3D, and really kind of creating in this world. And it really is like the next 3 months is super important for what we're going to be evolving and creating and birthing into existence next year. And so I can't stress enough how important the next 3 months are. I did a video on that. I did a live the other day on that. So be sure to check that out, because it's really the next 3 months is really getting us into our alignment, into our destiny, into our what we're here to do on earth. Because come February of next year, we're really in a different world. We're in a different reality. And so everything that's happening from now until then is super important. And again, relationships is going to be one of those things that aligns you and supports you to your soul's evolution and growth. And I really think like the masculine is being activated really strongly here on the 3D plane to support you in that. And really November is going to be about aligning you with people who see you, who support you, and who you can create with. And it's a really beautiful energy. It's like a lovey energy, and it's like an energy that's going to feel different because you've done the work to really clear out your karma, clear out your clear out your scarcity, clear out your lack, clear out your fear, clear out your trauma, clear out your emotional wounds, and really be grounded and solid within yourself. So of course, anything
thing that you attract in from a new frequency is going to be different, and it's going to feel different, and it's going to feel natural, and it's going to feel normal, but there is going to be that like soul recognition piece. And like attracting a soulmate is very different than like a karmic partner, like twin flame type thing. So it's just going to feel really solid, really safe, really secure, really supportive from the get-go, but also have that kind of like soul recognition where you two can just like see each other. And but with that, I will say, when you get a new experience, it's really important to kind of be with yourself and be with your nervous system and your body as you really hold and calibrate to a new frequency, right? Because it's like we would love to think that it's just all smooth. It's like, but if we're going 10 calibers up, we would need to calibrate our body 10 calibers up. And so it's just the natural process of things that emotion is going to surface with your new level, with your new reality. And so again, like releasing the emotional reactivity and the impulsivity and those kind of survivalistic patterns. That was because we're approaching life from the eagle, not the Scorpio, right? Not the Scorpion. The Scorpion is always looking for external threats. It is always looking to use its stinger. When it uses its stinger in nature, it dies. And so it's actually just seeing things as an eagle, not getting too attached, being detached, seeing the higher perspective, seeing the higher vision, being patient as it unfolds. Like birthing a baby takes time. Confirmation, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. A baby wasn't birthed in a day. And so it's really just trusting, like, I'm kind of seeing like Seven of Pentacles. Like I'm seeing like trust and nurture and water and grow the roots before you can like sprout the seed, and really just trusting that process, because we have the next 3 months to nurture and grow and blossom and bloom the baby. And use that time to really center in with yourself and zoom out to see the higher octave and higher vision of where you're going, and where you're gonna have Mercury retrograde also supporting you, and seeing where maybe you're blocked mentally, where you like had this one belief that was blocking you, and then all of a sudden without that belief, you're like, my whole life is opened up and like anything is actually possible, and it was just that one belief that was like holding me back. And so it's really allowing you to see yourself in a new way. And when you see yourself in a new way, you show up in a new way, which allows you to really be met and supported in deeper ways. Like when you hold the energy of a queen, the universe is going to reflect back to you queen level support. It's like people rally to support the queen. So it's really changing how you see yourself and recognizing your own value. With Uranus going back into Taurus, it really is like feminine embodiment and being secure and solid and valued like valuing yourself and having your strong self-worth. I always go back to nature with Taurus. It's like Mother Earth energy. It's Empress energy. It's like trusting that you can just create the resources that you need, and trust that you're always providing for, and that you can just be solid in yourself and appreciate yourself, appreciate your beauty, appreciate your gifts, appreciate what you have to offer, and really be embodied, like in your body, in that femininity, which is open, it is loving, it is, nurturing, it is solid, it is beautiful, like appreciating the beauty in the world, of other people, and yourself. And you can really look back on this Taurus journey that you've been on since May 2018, when Uranus first went into Taurus. This was like a big awakening and activating time for me. And I've moved, Uranus going through my 4th house, man. If you're a Gemini rising, buckle up, because not a Gemini rising, Pisces rising, because Uranus is going through your 4th house. Uranus through the 4th house was rough. I am also ruled by Uranus, so Uranus's movements are really important and profound, and kind of like, I'm also an astrologer, so I feel the planets so much more intensely. But
I have a strong relationship with Uranus, but Uranus through my fourth house has uprooted me and uprooted me and uprooted me and uprooted me again and again and again, and really shaken a lot out of my body, because your fourth house really is your like foundation. It is your home. And so, I've moved. I moved like once or twice a year since 2018. So, and I just moved again. So, of course, I'm like, Uranus is going back into the fourth. I moved when it left my fourth in July, end of July, and then I moved again, and now I'm like, all right, I'm probably gonna move again when it moves out, and I know that's what's happening. But confirmation. I see the patterning, I see the lessons, I see and understand what was required of me with that transit. And, I really loved and enjoyed Uranus and Gemini. I'm excited to see how the collective evolves. Like, really, the AI space has kicked up since July with Uranus and Gemini. Inventions always happen. It's really like quantum leap energy, and really Uranus and Taurus prepares your body somatically to receive the codes, to receive the quantum leaps, to receive the higher consciousness, and like really be that clear of channel, because Uranus is the higher mind, Gemini is the mind as well. And so it's very much like invention energy. But in order to be intuitive, you have to really like do that work to clear out your body. If I could deduce my spiritual awakening to anything, it would be that. It would be like clearing out the gunk from my body so that I could be a clear channel. Because I am here to embody Uranus energy. And so my nervous system was holding a lot of things that were preventing me from being super intuitive and grounded and a spiritual channel. And so I had to do that work to really be somatic and really be solid and secure and like grounded in my body, which can still be a challenge, as my entire chart is air, but I'm so much better. So you're always better off after a transit, but it can be confronting and hard, and triggering and spicy to move through it. So really look at your chart, and really Taurus in your chart, because this has been a place of big shifts for you. So this full moon is really gonna bring physical things into form with what you've gone through. And I just got a big aha from my own life about this, so thank you. And because Taurus is about 3D manifestation, and so something physical can present and show up. You can also look back to April of this year with the new moon in Taurus. Uranus was also involved with that. I believe it was conjunct Uranus back at the end of April. And so of course, now I'm like, this makes sense, because this is when I was like going to Arizona with that new moon back in April, May. And now I'm like, well, now I'm living here. So it really just takes 6 months for things to manifest. It really happened like that. I had no plans to move, and then all of a sudden here I am. And Taurus really represents things coming into physical form. So look back to April, end of April, what was going on, the intentions you set, and because those things can be coming to fruition November 5th with this full moon. And again, we'll be going back into those lessons when Uranus retrogrades back into Taurus on November 7th. And something that I heard from Pam Gregory actually is that the Pleiades are at 29 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus is going back to that degree. And so I think probably awakening some Pleiades energy within people. If you're having spontaneous activations and awakenings, your DNA shifting type things like that, stuff with your body, stuff with my body has been a very strong theme for me lately. And so just really take care of your body, because your frequency has to be embodied. And so just take care of your body so that your body can, you can hold and expand your capacity to receive more light, to hold more light. I could just go on to a huge tangent about that, but Um, you know, Jupiter is also going to station retrograde November 11th in Cancer, opposing Pluto. And so what this really is this is opening your heart, baby. It really is, because Cancer is all about the inner heart. Pluto will fucking will churn and burn and make you release some deep things. And so if really deep past pains come in mid-November, just know that they're like pain. I'm feeling like pain in my heart. So it's like really cracking your heart open. And two, like that's naturally what relationships do. Like I'm just feeling this like so deeply in my heart. Like I feel like a lot of people's like inner hearts are gonna be like expunged open. So this has been a big heart opening year for me. And what happens is when you can open, the more you can open your heart, the more love you can receive. And so any past barriers where you have closed your heart or protected your heart, it's really asking you to heal those things so that you can welcome and love. You can receive joy. You can expand your capacity to receive love, joy, happiness, fulfillment, and really connect to your higher self who lives. Okay, we lost connection there for a second. We're back. What's so interesting is I swear Uranus and Gemini is like creating like just tech problems, like in general. That's what I've noticed. Like the last 3 months, it feels like it's always Mercury retrograde. And so I'm very curious to see. I mean, it's about to go back into Taurus, but I feel like we might be in for a lot of like techie shit for the next 7 years. I'm wondering how people are feeling, if they're feeling like it's Mercury retrograde. It is Mercury retrograde shadow right now, though. So if you've been having tech problems like myself, we're in for a ride. But what I was saying was that Jupiter opposing Pluto is really expanding your heart and opening your heart and cracking your heart open. And what happens when you open your heart is you have to feel. And so if past pains, if past wounds are surfacing, are coming up, just know it is expanding your capacity to receive love and to be supported and to feel happiness and joy and fulfilled. And with opening your heart comes forgiveness and acceptance. And really living from an open heart is the most magnetic thing that you could do and to be. So just know that I just feel this like undercurrent of emotions this month, but it is such a beautiful month. And I think a lot of relationships and divine counterparts and soulmates and connections. And, that can be with, new friendships, new business partners, just reconnecting with old people too, which is so beautiful, can be a big theme this month. We also then, of course, will have the new moon in Scorpio towards the end of the month. But really, this first half of the month feels really, really big. So I'm going to leave that there. If you want to dive deeper to work with me to really glow up, really anchor in your next desired reality by deconstructing and reconstructing your identity as we are doing this month, and align with partnerships, upgrade your standards, your level of living, really just become that woman, that embodied woman, that divine feminine, to be able to hold more of your light and being in your receptive state where your intuition is on, your magic is on, your miracles, manifestation is easy, life is a fun game. You can join my 30-day glow up. I'll post the link for that in the show notes. And you, of course, can book a session if you just want some clarity and insight into your energy field, what's coming up for you, how to work with it. Those are very fun and supportive as well. So sending you lots of love. It's going to be a big month, but I'm excited for it. And I want to just say like happy lovemaking. So I don't know, maybe a lot of love will be being made, but enjoy this energy, and I'll see you in the next one.